Allow us to welcome Carla Motau, wife to Paul Dikeledi, who passed away in Manzana, Swaziland.
It's very emotional. I never thought that one day I'll be recognized. We are indeed the forgotten widows. Elias, angazi ukuthi uzokubonga kanjani. I remember the day you called me and you said that, you know what, you wanted to talk to me. I had no words. You came to my house. I cried. I cried because, you know what, I still cry. I still cry because, you know what, there are people who don't understand our pain. I am Mozambican. Sorry if my English is not 100%. I try. I met the love of my life, Paul Dikeledi. It was love at first sight. He had come to my home after a comrade that was engaged to my stepsister was killed in the Mahasha. He came bringing my mom. He was with Solis Melan, and they came into the house, and my mom called me to come and offer them some drinks. As I walked that room, it was like a magnet. It was a magnet that went. It was love at first sight. I loved him at that time. I still love him after 29 years. I'm not going to mention names, but you know what? I am Mozambican. My husband died in Swaziland. I was a child. I was only 25. I had 2 children, a 7-year-old son and my daughter that is here, that she was only 4 years old. I remember when it happened. It was on the 9th of July, 1987. I could feel in my bones that something had happened. I remember Comrade Mututu's in Maputo coming to my parents' home and said that no, 3 people were killed in Swaziland. And straight I said to Mduduzi, it is Paul. And he said, no, it's not Paul. But I could feel, I could feel that, what, something is not right. That was on a Thursday. On a Friday, again, the whole day I could feel that something is not right. But I kept saying that, no, it's not him. I was listening to the radio and they did say that, one of the gentlemen was holding a Tanzanian passport, if I'm not mistaken. The other one was using a Lesotho passport, and I said, no, it is him. I knew he was using a Lesotho passport. My wealth, I never had a father growing up. And Paul for me was the man of my life. He was my father, he was my friend, he was the father of my 2 young children. I remember when I went to my mom's place. It wasn't far, it was walking distance. And my son that afternoon drew a hearse. I found it very strange because it was before I knew that he had died. And I asked Silo, why did you draw that? And you know what, he could not explain to me. And at that time, I just felt that, let me just go back because I was living at my sister's place. We had just left Swaziland because things were getting very bad. We left Swaziland the same year on January the 17th. It was his birthday. And we went to my sister's place and I went to wash my kids. I did not have strength. I could feel something was not right. And the bell rang and I just turned my head. I had finished washing my kids. I was putting them Vaseline, and the bell rang, and I saw the chief rep. It was Ufapla, Usipo, I think it was Sipo Fapla, they called him Fapla. As I saw him walking in, and with two ANC elder ladies, and I just said to them, with this anger, I said to them, don't tell me anything, because I know what happened. Don't tell me anything. You know, my world was shattered. The man that I thought, you know what, I was going to grow old with him. The man that I loved him so much that, you know what, you know, people wouldn't understand that, you know what, he was pitch black. He was pitch black. Paul was black. They used to call him Umnyamana. Here in Swaziland was one of his name. But I love my black man. I loved him. I loved him that, you know what, I remember once we were walking with him in Maputo. We were just walking. And I was talking to him, and I said to him that, you know what, I want to tell you one thing. Never think of leaving me. Don't ever think of leaving me. Because if you go, the day you go back to your country and you leave me, I'll kill you. And he stopped and he looked at me and he said, but for this black and ugly thing. And I said to him, yes, you are black and ugly, but you are mine. You know? You know, today there are people who mock me. I've been mocked. And, you know, by people that, you know what, I did not expect to do that to me. People that, you know what, I treated them like sisters in my own country, where they did not have a country. I became a mother to the ANC cadres in my house. Very young, but you know what, they were my children. I was a child, but they were my children. I remember that, you know what, in my culture, in Mozambican culture, you know, we sit on the table. We eat on the table. I'll do that every morning. I'll prepare the breakfast. I'll go to each room, wake them up. There were some of them, especially Umakakula. Utumisan Makaya was MEC of whatever in Natal. Umakakula was the most untied person that I've ever came across. But he was my baby because, you know, they were all my little babies. You know, I'll go into his room. There was Uzwandla, but you know what? Not the way I would want to. I'll go after him, I'll make up the bed, you know. They were my babies, you know. Uzweli Nyanda used to live with me, and many, many others. You know, Comrade Ibrahim lived with me, you know. But today, nobody knows us. You know, people that, you know what, I treat them my sisters. You know what, I'm not going to mention names because they said, but I'm going to say this because, you know what, it has hurt me. You know, to a point that, you know what, I say to myself, but you know what, it's because I'm Mozambican. You know, maybe I'm treated like this because I'm not South African. I don't know. You know, those things come to my mind. I am not South African. You know, I'm proud of being Mozambican. And I always say to everyone, I'm South African by marriage. I am Mozambican. I'm very, very proud of being a Mozambican. You know. But today we have people in government. I'm talking about people that are in government today. You know, people who can, you know what, maybe angselutu. That's what I feel, you know. A person that, you know what, we can be sitting in a table for breakfast, you know. And that person says, you know what, by the way, you know what, we were so worried about Carla because Carla does not let go of her husband. And that day I said to her, can you please don't go there? This is the month of July. The month of July for me is a secret month. It doesn't matter that he's 29 years old, 29 years. But this month is the month that, you know what, from the 1st of July, it hits me that this is the month that, you know what, I did not only lose a husband, because maybe that's what people think, that, is a husband. Yes, that's what people think. But they forget that, we have children with these people. We look at these children every day and it reminds us of them. Today I have grandchildren that, I'll have to explain to these grandchildren, and this thing comes every time it's there on your face. For this person in the middle of everyone to say to me that, you see what I was saying, she doesn't let go of her husband, I'm sure I'm going to use this expression because, it's for all of you to know that, we are looked down. Like, because I'm nothing. No. If you respected that man yesterday, respect him today, even if he's not there. Because that person was not only a husband, it was a father, was a brother to someone, was a daughter or a son to someone, and life like that, he was a human being before any other thing. But we have people that, that day, we have one Carla, I'm sure who does nengalele daughter, she still calls her husband's name. What does it say? These are the things that, we see every day, I have a colleague of mine that, when she mentions my husband, she say, "Isdubu sakho. Uzobiza indoda yami isidumbu." Because namhlanje uPaul akasaphili. But who gives them that is because, the ANC has not recognized this. It's like we don't even exist, But if it wasn't for the sacrifice that Apollo did, the sacrifice that Uviva did, the sacrifice that Ukesha's market did. I always say to people that, Paul had a chance to say to the board that, don't kill me. I'll give you every information that you want. But no, he did not do that. He was brave enough to say that, let me die. I know that, I've left a wife behind. I'm leaving 2 children behind that I don't even know what is going to happen to them. I went into South Africa because, I wanted to take my kids to their home. I struggle in that country. I'm still struggling with my kids, because no one cares about us. No one cares about our children, Our kids are not normal. Our kids need help. Who is helping our kids? Until the day our kids go and commit crime, and is after that they're going to say, umntwana kaPaul uboshiwe because ubulela umuntu. Umntwana kaSibanibani usejele because ubulela umuntu. Where is the organization that our husband died for? I was in Angola some time back, and the commander of Quid Carnaval, General Nando, an Angolan Lando, said to me to tell the person that I was with to translate. And he said that, MPLA is going to be in power forever because of one thing. We look after our veterans, we look after our widows, we look after our orphans. Is the ANC doing that? The ANC is not doing that. The ANC has lost the plot. When our husbands were fighting, when our husbands died, we were fighting for the freedom of the people of South Africa. Today, we're not fighting for the freedom. That's why we see Abo Vulcan, whatever it is called in Lento, Babachis is called. I don't say that they should do that, But people are angry. Are angry because, people in the leadership, they only think about themselves. We're no longer thinking about the masses of South Africa, Namhlanje, mina, ngimi. A person can even say that, lama biscuit lawa, angikhumbuza poverty because yene, ule phezulu. There are children who don't even see that biscuit, even today. Let us go back. I hope the leadership of the ANC could have been here, to know that, let us go back to the starting land, as in what are we here for? Because Mina always say to people that, Mina, I'm afraid of the legacy What am I going to tell my grandchildren tomorrow? What did your grandfather die for? I won't have the answer. Please, let us save the legacy of our husbands. That's the only thing I ask. Thank you.